there, savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker, and welcome to Coronavirus Market Update number 2. Today we're going to go over the real estate numbers for Mississauga as they happen from April 1st to April 7th, 2020. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's get into it. So welcome to another COVID-19 market update. As I said last week in my previous video, the Toronto Real Estate Board released their numbers for the month of March. Now, as I warned you in the last video, the challenge with real estate numbers are most of the times they compare 1 month in this year versus the same month in the last year. So when you're looking at those numbers, it still looks pretty good because house prices were up at least 11% year over year. Sales were also up at the same time. However, the Toronto Real Estate Board did note that the beginning of March started out really crazy, and by the end of March, it did slow down. However, they will need another month in order to analyze the numbers to give a true picture of what's going on. All right, so let's go over the real estate market as a whole and what we see going on right now. I'm basing these numbers off of Mississauga. So first off, listings are down 56% when compared to the same time last year. Now, there's no surprise there. I mean, we have social distancing going on. We expected to see that significant drop in listings, so that's not a problem. Also, when it comes to the amount of sales, they're down a whopping 85%. Now that tells me that most people are staying inside, they're not going out, buyers are putting off buying homes, and sellers are slowly pulling their homes back in order to just wait this thing out. Totally expected, not good if you're a home seller, but things are still selling, and we're gonna get into those numbers in a minute. All right, so the number one question every home buyer and seller wants to know is, what is this coronavirus thing doing to home prices? So again, just like last week, it is really difficult to tell you exactly what's happening to home prices because no two homes are ever the same. So in order to really make a good comparison, you have to find similar homes in a similar category, in a similar price point, and then compare them versus what happened this month, which is what happened last month before all this stuff started. As I did last week, I'm using the example of a semi-detached house in Mississauga, but I find that this one is a good solid indicator of an entry level to a mid-level home. It's not a luxury home. It's not usually an investment property, and it gives you an idea of the market at all. So when we compare the sale of semi-detached homes in Mississauga between 600,000 and 900,000 compared to March 1st to 7th, and then again April 1st to 7th, we can see that prices have come down about 4.5%. Now I've actually looked at the houses that sold, and again, there's a little bit of wiggle room because, you know, one house might have been a little smaller, one house might have been a little bigger, but I did look at the average tax rate of the homes that sold, and it kind of falls in line with that. So what we're seeing are not a huge downplay in prices, but a little bit of a softening, and that's easily reflecting the fact that there's not enough buyers to boost these homes well over asking price. Okay, so now that we went over semi-detached houses and we realized prices haven't come down that much, I do want to point your attention to absorption rate because that is a good indicator of where our market's going in the future. So let me point your attention to this chart. Now, as you can see, the blue line represents new listings coming on the market, and the orange line represents sold and terminated homes, which would take out of the listing pool. Now, when we talk about absorption rate, it's important because what absorption rate means is how long it would take the current homes on sale to sell. So if you have way more homes for sale and less sales going on, then your absorption rate or inventory on market will continue to rise. And that's how you can predict whether we're going to go into a seller's market, a buyer's market, or what we might want to predict in the near future. So when I look at this chart, I can see that both listings and sales have been pretty similar and close to each other all the way up until the beginning of March. Then in March, we see a spike in listings, and that is a reflection of people are still listing their home because that normally happens every year. Once we get to the end of March, listings spike up for the spring real estate season. However, on sales, you see it flatlining. So that's a key right there that buyers started to slow down and stay inside, and they weren't buying as much. Now, when we get to the end of March, listings take a sharp drop, which is telling me that sellers are not listing their homes, they're holding off, while at the same time, terminations and sold properties also went down, where again, they're sitting about even to each other. So what this chart tells me is actually some very good news. If we were running into a market where it was going to get out of control and prices were going to start dropping significantly, we would still continue to see a spike in new listings while at the same time sales dropping off. But the fact that they're both dropping at the same time tells me both buyers and sellers are pulling back at the same time, which will keep prices relatively strong. Well, I hope that chart kind of helped out a bit. I like to take a look at it because it's hard to get numbers on a weekly basis, but that gives me an idea that the market is holding strong, at least for now. Now, if you're a buyer or seller and you want to continue to get these updates on a weekly basis, all you have to do is subscribe to my newsletter. Happy to send them to you. And if you have any questions or you want to see some other property types analyzed on this show, I'd be happy to. Just call or email me. Well, there you have it. I'm Jeff O'Leary. I hope you liked my Week 2 update of COVID-19 in Mississauga and the GTA. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share with your friends. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. Have yourself a safe day.